This is Future Phenoms tracking football's rising stars. I'm Andy, and I'm joined by Nino Brown and SC Romero. We have a jam-packed episode today that we'll break down after the intro. SC, Nino, what's going on, guys?
What's cracking?
Nothing much, man. Just here to have some good college football talk. I purposely didn't want to look at like Nino's answers because I was like, nah, let's go in there full blindly and let's see what we can talk about today. So excited.
All right, let's get right into the episode here. First segment, names to watch for the 2024 college football season. SC, you're up first.
So let's go with one of the running backs. Minnesota's running back Darius Taylor got hurt last year. He played in 6 games total, but through 5 of them had 796 rushing yards, about 5.8 yards per carry. Just a beast. He knows how to just glide through. He doesn't come down easy. He knows how to bully his way through. I think it was a game against Eastern Michigan where he came back and he just had like 5 guys trying to tackle him. He just powers through, keeps his legs moving forward. Definitely a guy I'm excited about. True freshman last year too, so he has a lot of potential moving up this year.
I love him. Came back in that bowl game after the injury, after not playing forever, and just what do you have, like 30 carries or something? He was excited to be 200, there.
200 yards, 200 plus yards.
They kept feeding to him. He knew he had a bunch of people in the stands and stuff. My concern, and I think it might have been kind of the university's concerns a little bit, they went out and got 2 kind of above average running backs in the portal. And excuse me, C. Bangora from Ohio, who's a dude. I think he had 1,000 yards last year, 800 this year. He had a couple games he missed due to injury. And Majors out of Oklahoma. So, like, these are, like, not, like, throwaway running backs. These are legitimate dudes. So, like, I wonder if they're going to eat into it, if it's going to be an RBBC, or if they're worried about if he's not going to be 100%, for the whole season, if he's got longevity in him. So I love the guy. I think if he stays healthy, he's the guy. I just think that's a crowded room right now.
I feel Minnesota typically does have a crowded room, though, and they've been known to, use their backs. I feel they produce great backs. They just have great running games and everything. So even a committee, he might not have that 5.8 yards per carry like he did this past year. But in a committee, I mean, in times that helps. He becomes more effective because he's fresher at times, right? He has people to relieve him and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. But, I mean, again, as a true freshman, it's just nice to see someone get off to a hot start. And maybe there are like, oh, stat, we need help here. So we'll see.
No, I love it. Like I said, like you come back in that bowl game after missing those games and just the explosiveness there, shifty. I'm with it. Give him the stuff. Just let him be the RB1 and then work the other guys in.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Nina, who's your first guy?
I'll stay in the running back department. I'm going to go with a guy out in Texas State, Ishmael Mahdi, I believe is how you say it. 5'9", 180 pounds. So he's a little not undersized, a smaller guy, but he gets loose. He had over 250 snaps last year, 223 attempts, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns as a freshman, 21 receptions, 278 receiving yards. Listen, I was talking to Andy about this in the green room. There's no quarterback right now. They got 2 freshman QBs with no experience back there. Finley hit the portal. Jaden DeLore went to the NFL. This guy's going to get the rock, and they're returning to offensive lineman up front. He was responsible for 67 first downs, right? Out of the 1,300 yards, he had 800 yards after contact. It was 3.62 yards after contact per attempt. He's can run inside. He can run outside. This offense runs 75 to 80 plays a game. It's up-tempo, right? And I said there's no QB, and he's a dude that just eats chunks of yards, 40 runs of over 10 plus yards. Give me Mahdi every Saturday because he's going to run them up.
No, great pick. I mean, you hit on the money though. He's a bit undersized, and so he will get overpowered. You know what I mean? If you go against some good linebackers, he's
Mhm.
just gonna do it. The thing is, though, he's fast. He
Right.
finds that hole. His acceleration just goes from 0 to 100 real quick, and he's gone. So if he hits that open gap, cuts to the outside for you, he's done. He does know how to use his footwork, going through the
Mhm.
holes and everything like that. He has some great vision. The worry is just being undersized. So hopefully over the summer he can put on a couple pounds. And if you mix that and he gets some strength under him, so he's not getting overpowered like that, oh boy, he's some deadly guy right there.
What I do like about the fact he is undersized, but he's not afraid to run between the tackles. You know what I
Oh
mean? He
yeah.
will go between the tackles and bounce outside, but I'm
Mhm.
cool with that, right? Like, because you're not just the one, you don't have to just always go into the outside. It's not like the defense knows that he's getting the ball, he's going outside. He will come in right up the gut and then break off, and you give him one step, he makes a move on you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. SC, who's the next guy you want to talk about?
Let's go into another position on offense, the quarterback, and that's going to be Brock Vandergriff. He's going to Kentucky. Low key, this Kentucky wide receiver core is the best in the SEC. Low key, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to talk about it's Kentucky, right? It's not like basketball or anything like that. But you got Dane Key, who I love, just monster, wins that contested catch at the high point. You have Barry Brown, who has some speed and some electricity to him. And then they just went out and got Jay Macklin from North Texas, and that's someone that already I'm looking at Dinky and Barry Brown, like, and a couple of my C2Cs, I have both of them. So it's like, oh wait, dude, this is pretty deadly. Now it's Jay Macklin's in there moving up a division and going in. This is gonna be pretty crazy. The thing with Vandergraff, he has that zip. He was a transfer from Georgia, didn't get that job. He knows how to control the field, though. He has that zip when he throws. He has a quick release. He also has some accuracy to him, so he can hit Dane Key down low. He can hit Darian Brown through the slot, or even Jay Macklin if he just needs to go on a go route. I think we're gonna see some fireworks in this offense because Vandergriff is there and he has a wide receiver core with him.
I'm with it. I'm absolutely with it. Like, this is where he wanted to go. This is the guy that they wanted. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. As soon as they met one shot deal, sign it. I'm going to transfer portal. I'm here in Kentucky. He's going in there. He's ready to sling this ball around. Macklin is going to be the X factor for me.
Mhm.
His brother was the guy, obviously Jeremy Macklin. Pedigree's there. This kid's going to make everybody on that offense even better because he's just going to spread the field. He can work holes. He'll be able to cut under and spread guys and move linebackers and set screens by accident, right? And then you're going to have these guys just pop up in a space, boop, and Vandergriff is just going to light the world on fire, I think, to start the season. Once I think there's a little bit of film on him, maybe we'll have to see after that. But I think the beginning of the season, Vandergriff's going to come out hot as a pistol.
But even then, like, I'm not saying they're gonna go in the SEC or anything like that, but I think they're just gonna have some great time together. They're gonna have a lot of fun, and I love the wide receiver core because each one is a different wide receiver.
Yeah,
you have some wide receiver
levels.
rooms where it's like, oh, it's the same guy just repeated on both sides or
Right.
whatever it may be. Each receiver has a different role, and if they can excel on that, it's gonna be very deadly. And we, like I said, we might see some high offense in Kentucky this year.
Protect. If they can protect, it's been 3 years of crappy O-line. If they can protect, right, watch out, because I think Vandergriff, like I said, at the beginning of the season, come out hot as a pistol.
Yeah.
All right, Nino, who's your next guy?
I got a guy. I think a lot of people forgot about him, and he's been doing it for 2 seasons, and he did it for the first half of last year before Tez Walker stepped in and was the wide receiver 1, and he's got 1 more year, and I think he's going to be the dude for them. And that's going to be J.J. Jones, wide receiver for North Carolina, 6'2", 210, right? He had 64 targets, 46 receptions, 700 yards, 3 touchdowns. 71% receptions rate. I mean, you love any wide receiver that's over 70. You're locked in, right? He averages 15 yards per reception. He's a deep ball guy, right? He's always out wide, 95%. He only had 2 drops last year. His body control is crazy. His awareness of the sideline is phenomenal. And one thing that I do love a lot about him is a lot of times Drake May, this is one of my issues with Drake May, his adjustment, he has trouble with adjustment. He makes it easy for Drake May. He did anyway. We're coming back to the ball. When he saw May's the play die or he had to roll out, he's able to kind of get off script and make himself available for May. This kid's got it, man. He can go up and get the ball. He's fast. If he gets in front of you, he can juke you. He doesn't have the fastest feet, but he's got a lot of the intangibles, and I think this kid's going to be the one. Now, Max Johnson's the quarterback. We'll have to see what happens there. Obviously, it's not Drake May, but I think he's going to be the alpha on the outside, and he's proven he can do it already.
Yeah, JJ Jones is nice. Not describe receivers I use words like crisp in their route running or even like fluid. For JJ Jones, I said smooth. Like
Yeah.
he like you mentioned, he's not the fastest on the field, but the way he just does his cuts are very effective because it's in one motion. He's not like having to stop or having to just juke to our side. He's in one motion that he's doing it. And he has soft hands. I mean, you talked on his catch percentage, and over the past 2 years, the beauty about it is this past year he doubled up on his receptions damn near and
Yep.
only got like 14 more targets. You know what I mean? So he definitely showed what he can do. And I think there's some exciting things, and I agree he could definitely be the one out there.
The first 7 games, he was the guy, and I
Mhm.
believe week 3 he had his first 100-yard game. Like he developed this season in the first 7-8 games. So I think he's going to take off.
All right. SC, who's the final guy you want to talk about?
So me, always gotta bring up an IDP guy. We're gonna go with the linebacker out at Memphis, Chandler Martin. This guy is just a dog. He hounds the defense down. He has the speed to break through the line. He has the awareness to go back in coverage. 94 tackles back-to-back seasons. Got first team All ACC this past year. The one thing I like about it, so as you become more and more into like watching film, right? It's not just about the film they put on the show, but then you also look at some interviews, right? And how they present themselves, because that can affect the draft stock too. I saw an interview with him and he said, I'm the fastest on the field because I'm the smartest on the field. He's like, I pride myself on my knowledge of the game. I pride myself in knowing how the offense is running down. I pride myself on being that leader. And that's something you just love to hear. Like when a guy says, I'm not the fastest on the field because my speed alone, I'm the fastest because I know where the ball's about to be. I'm watching. I have that ball tracking awareness. And man, I'm just excited to see this. I think this is a young linebacker that you need to have on your radar. Memphis from Chandler Martin, excuse me, from Memphis.
Any linebacker that puts back-to-back seasons of 90+ tackles, right? I don't know what the solo numbers are, but I just know that you're aware where you need to be, and you make the tackle. That to me, I want to see now this year. I want to see how many solos he's got. Right? I want to see how he does in coverage. But I'm going to be watching that this year because like I said, any linebacker with 90+ tackles, my eyes are open. I want to see what you got.
Oh yeah.
All right, Nino, who's your final guy?
My last guy, I figured I might as well stay in the IDP pool, and I'm going to go with a guy out of Iowa State. Big DB, likes to hit, got good hands. That's Miles Purchase, right? 56 tackles, 38 of them solo. He had a sack, 5 tackles for loss, but he had 14 pass breakups, okay? This dude is just can play at all aspects of the game. He lined up, he's physical, he's an instinctive DB. He had 96 snaps in the box, right? 136 snaps in the slot, and then 600 out at corner. So he can play all over the field. He had 24 run stops. He's not afraid to get back there and tackle. He's not like a Dion. He can get down and play physical. 5'11", 205 pounds. He knows how to use his body. He's got good hands. This kid, him, and I believe it's Jeremiah Cooper in that backfield. They have a solid secondary. Those dudes are going to be locked down, play physical right in front of you, smash mouth football. This kid's going to, I think, the way he plays, we're going to have, it's been back-to-back years. Now people are going to be aware of him. They're going to start watching him. This is going to be a name that you're going to hear that could rise mid-year, and people are going to start talking about on draft boards.
Finally, man, this guy, out of high school, he was pretty sure he was the 2020 Colorado Player of the Year when it came for Max Preps, and he dominated. He know how to play on both sides of the ball, and now he's using his defensive back skills to just be a dog. I mean, we say that a lot for the defensive guys, right? But he has it, and I definitely think he's someone that is in running to be one of the top defensive backs in this draft class. Because of his versatility, because he can go sideline to sideline, because he has the awareness to pass the ball down. A lot of people like it, of course you want the interceptions, but those pass deflections mean something. You're putting your hands up. You're not getting the pass interference strength out. You're actually making a play. So this is a guy that I think come draft time, you're going to be watching him and people are going to be like, wow, he's definitely going day 2. And if he has a great season, we might see him first round as well.
Yeah, I mean, he does well mirroring wide receivers. He's smooth in and out of his breaks, right? And what I like is I'm a guy that when it comes to DBs, I like guys that do bicycle, right? No T-step. I feel like the T-step, you kind of like lose a second, but you go bicycle, like that's how Dion was. That was kind of the guy I grew up on. And you go back, you can explode right out of it when you don't have to turn that foot to the side. So he's that's how he is, and he's cerebral, but he also, if you're not paying attention, he hits you. You might be looking out the side of your ear hole. You know what I mean? So I love Purchase. Like I said, him and Cooper are a Big 12 secondary. You got to watch out for.
So those are some names to know and write down for your CFF, C2C, and IDP leagues. Now, our next segment is this or that. For this segment, we'll be looking at a 2023 NFL rookie versus a 2024 NFL rookie. The first guy, Trey Tucker versus Jacob Cowing. Nino, you're up first.
Now, I just seen Cowing, up close and personal. So, like, when I saw this on the doc, I'm like, I had to go back and think. I'm like, Trey Tucker, all right. So I was watching some film, and then I watched some NFL film, and I'm like, they're very similar in stature, right? And they're very similar in how they play. But production-wise, it's not even close. Like, Jacob Cowing's production is through the roof. He almost had, 3 straight seasons of 1,000 yards, right? He's had like 26 touchdowns in 3 years combined. Anywhere on the field, this dude can do work. Speed-wise, yes, Tucker will beat him on the speed-wise. And he did have 33 receptions, this year. And I believe he had double-digit rushing attempts as well. So they were, manufacturing touches for him. So he is a weapon. But I think when it comes to like route tree, the way you can be a possessive receiver, I think Cowing beats him. Give me Jacob Cowing every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Man, so we don't know who people chose right here and there, but I chose Cowan too, man. You actually hit it on the money. My notes say I feel Tucker only has that speed. Like his route running isn't as crazy, his cuts aren't as crazy. Where Cowan's very fluid, man. I was talking about earlier words I use for some wide receivers. Fluidity is one of them, and that's Cowan. He just is so elegant when he's running and making his cuts that it's something nice to see. It's like ballet on the field, right? He just does it very smoothly. He has the hands. He can make the great catch as well. I think he's going to be something at the next level. I do believe he got hurt at the Senior Bowl, so that's something to monitor. But before that, we were talking about he's going day 2, so we'll see what happens. But I think Cowan would take this matchup.
All right, next matchup. Devon Achane versus Bucky Irving. SC, you're up first.
Man, I gotta go Bucky Irving, man. A few pounds makes a difference, and I think Achane is there. Last I know of, he was just below 190, right? So he's very quick, and I think Achane definitely has that speed route as well. He's very agile when he makes his cuts. He knows how to do it, but we saw it this year. The injuries are a concern. I don't know if that's going to be happening with Bucky, but I do know Bucky knows how to break his tackles, I think, a little bit more effectively as far as getting through and being a little bit more stronger. So with that, I'm going to go with him. If Achane's healthy all year, sure. But again, we've already seen these injuries happen because he's playing against bigger guys. So that kind of scares me away, and I got to go Bucky Irving.
This was a tough one for me, all right, because I love my Ducks, and Romero knows that. But I was a fan of Achane when Spiller was there, and I always said that his positive production per was always better than Spiller. He just didn't get his opportunities. And when he got the opportunity that next season, we seen him ball out. And when he's this year alone, when he got it. But the big knock on Bucky I always heard from him, and why he couldn't be a first-round draft pick or a top of the second-round draft pick, is because he couldn't run between the tackles. Well, Devon Achane don't run between the tackles at all. Even with all that speed, he just doesn't do it. He didn't do it at A&M, and he doesn't really do it at Miami. He might run close to the hash, but he ain't running between the tackles, and he always wants to go on the outside. Well, guess what? Bucky decided this year, I'm going to run between the tackles to prove a point, and he did that with very good production. Like, he had multiple times right up the gut, big runs. Like you said, a little bit bigger, right? He can receive. Yeah, I know they both can receive the ball, but he can pass pro. Bucky can stay home and protect his QB. Achane can't, right? He's not a 3-down back. I think Bucky can be a 3-down back. To take away my partial Oregon, like I said, I got a running back that can stay on the field, that can protect his quarterback, can run between the tackles, can kind of do everything you need from a running back at all. Is not a liability to get his quarterback killed. Give me Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
That was our this or that segment. Now let's get right into our next one, our 5 statement segments with Nino and SC. Statement number 1. Incoming true freshman Dylan Raiola will throw for 3,200 passing yards. Nino, you're up first.
No. And it's not because he doesn't have the talent. It's because I don't trust Marcus Satterfield. He's never really done it, right? He did it with Spencer Rattler. I think it's because Spencer Rattler's talent alone did that. Like, outside of that, he didn't do much of anything, right? Luke Doty was terrible. PJ Walker barely got to 2,500 yards. Now, I know PJ Walker's more of a mobile guy, but like this guy was in the NFL, right? Barely got to 2,500 yards. And if you want to go even deeper, man, when we went to UT Martin, Greg Preston barely got to 1,000 yards. So, like, I don't know. Is it because he was just in a right system that Satterfield does well overall as a product? Maybe, but I don't see Raiola in year one as a true freshman coming out and throwing for over 3,000 yards. I know this is year 2 of rule system, and usually we see a big jump in production and in win percentage. But he's going to have bumps and bruises. It's going to take some learning curve for him. I don't even know if he's going to be the starter day one. I would assume so. I know that's why he went there. That's what he wanted to be. But he's got to win the job off the rip. We got to see. I just think someone, in the situation he's at with a lot of question marks, throwing for 3,200 yards, I have to go no.
Man, so I've said it before. I'm very high on Nebraska this year. I think Nebraska is going to be phenomenal. And, they have Malachi Coleman. You have Noah Rogers, Dante Dawa, Raiola. When I first read this question, I was like, oh, yeah, definitely. And then I had to look at the schedule, though, too. They're playing homecoming versus Rutgers. That's good. But Rutgers sometimes surprises on their defense. You have at Indiana. Indiana can have some dogs on their defense, too. Then you go at OSU. Then you have versus Wisconsin, and then you also play Iowa and USC. Some teams later on that are going to play a big factor in holding them down and not necessarily getting that. I have him as he's not going to be 3,200. He might get just over 3,000, but I think he'll get more towards like that 28, 29 maybe. Again, he has some nice receivers there to back him up, but I think that schedule is too tough for him where, the growing pains are there. But if he is him, like it says, I think he can get close to 3,000, but I don't know about 3,200. That was a little stretch.
Really quick, and this when was the I may be wrong. It's been a few years. The last true freshman to go for over 3,200?
Yeah.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, I could say one off the top.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I know we get a lot of hype. I think he's got commitment problems too, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I say he doesn't hit over 32. He's good. Maybe just hit just over, if anything, but he's not
2,700.
Statement number 2. By the end of the 2024 college football season, incoming LSU transfer wide receiver CJ Daniels will have over 1,200 receiving yards and become the next LSU great wide receiver to enter the NFL draft. Nino, or SC, you're first.
Okay. Man, I want us. This is possible. It depends. Does Garrett Nussfire come out here and ball? It definitely is possible. We've seen them have 2 top wide receivers. This guy is very physical at the catch. He has great ball control, knows how to catch that high point. Very athletic. He is one of your taller receivers. My question is, what about Kyron Lacey? That's a wide receiver that I think might come out and actually step up. He's been behind. Now it's his time to shine. I think that's someone that people should watch out for. Daniels has the physicality you want. But again, this LSU offense, we've seen them have multiple wide receivers, and I don't know if Daniels will separate himself as the top. I think it's going to be a close battle.
Yeah, I think he's the next one. I think he's going to get 1,200 yards. And I don't even think it's going to be like he gets it in the last game. I think he's going to make this a statement this year. Listen, I loved AA Anderson, right? Anthony Anderson. But just like Saban said, you should have just stayed here. You would have got more playing time. Lacey is a product of having 2 alphas on your team where you're sitting in wide open pockets against DB3 or weak side safety. So, I don't think Lacey is that dude. Is he going to have games? Yeah, probably. And is Hilton still there? Right? Is Hilton going to be? Or is he gone? Chris Hilton.
I think he is coming back.
So he would be the 4th option. Like, listen, it's CJ Daniels. This kid is electric. He is going to be the first option, the first read in that offense, and the second read, it's going to be the tight end. So, I'm not worried about anybody else in that wide receiver room but CJ Daniels. That kid is going to be a dude. You're looking at probably going to get 80-plus receptions.
Statement number 3. 2025 current LSU commit wide receiver DeCorian Moore will be an Evan Stewart clone. Nino, you're up first.
Ooh, I really like DeCorian Moore. I like his build, his size, his catch radius. He's got a good route tree for his, where he's at and his age. I mean, he could get a little bit better. But Evan Stewart's him right now. And I do believe, and he was him on a really shitty program, excuse my language, but like he wants to win bad. I think he's going to make a statement this year. So I think DeCorian Moore can be just as good, but as of right now, I'd have to say no. I think Evan Stewart has got a little bit more on the upper hand.
I think coming out, they're very, very close.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see better route running from the Corey Moore here. I want to see him be a little bit more crisp in it. He has that speed to back it up. He, like Nino said, he has that catch radius. He can catch from anywhere. Just he has the hands to do it. He can do it behind his back probably if he wanted to. So coming out, I think yes, but we're seeing Evan Stewart at the next level a couple more. He definitely elevated himself to be one of the top guy. He's top wide receiver 1 right now to many in the 2025 class. So this is something where it's going to be. I say yes right now because right now going into the college level, I think he is that clone. Will he become that clone once draft time comes? Let me give a year of him in college, but right now I think yes.
Statement number 4. Redshirt freshman quarterback Austin Mack will take over as the starter for the University of Alabama in 2024. SC, you're up first.
So I actually put yes, no on here. I think Jalen Monroe is on a very short lease, especially with DeBar there. Now he brought over Austin Mack, someone that brought him to the team. I think he is on a very short lease, and the Jalen Monroe just doesn't ball. He can have mistakes here and there, but if he doesn't come out and just dominate from game 1, I think it's a very short lease where he pulls the plug. I want to see Jalen Monroe play. The question is, will he be the starter for Alabama in 2024? I think he gets a start. I think we'll see a start because they're going to build some crap like they did this past season where they pulled Jalen Monroe for a game or 2, and then they put him back in, right? So I think we do see Austin Mack as a starter sometime this season.
As the starter and take over as the starter are two different things, okay? Because you can play a game,
That's true.
Okay, and that doesn't mean you took over as the starter. If DeBoer wants to keep his job, okay, I'm in year 1, bro. You better have walked into that room and put them things on the table the size of bowling balls to say that you're gonna bench the dude that's a proven. And I say proven winner because he got you to the playoff, right?
Yeah.
We're a kid who has, and listen, I like Matt's game, right? Almost 4,000, almost 3,700 yards, 40 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. But he only started 1 year of football. Like his senior year was the only year he ever started. That's 1 year of experience as a starting QB, and you're gonna put all your eggs in that basket against the guy who's already proven. But my fear is, I don't think Jalen Monroe's going to be there. I think Jalen Monroe hits the portal in this late window and says, "Screw you, buddy. I see all the writing on the wall. I see everything you're trying to do, and I'm not fitting into this scheme. I'm not being set up to fail." I think the kid bounces, and I think the ball's got to play with this guy because that's all he's got left to do. I've been saying this for a long time. It's not about the guy that replaces the GOAT. It's about the guy that replaces the guy trying to replace the GOAT. I don't think the ball is there past any longer than Nick Saban's last recruiting class. And I think Alex Max is going to be the starter probably a lot earlier than people think. And I think it's all going to go and burn down quick.
Yeah.
I
agree too.
Very hot take. Yeah, I like that. Statement number 5. Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden will be the odd man out in that wide receiver room. Nino, you're up first.
This is another one that was very, very difficult for me because normally Shock doesn't play any of his true freshmen. And we saw Cooks get some work, and we saw Baxter get some work, right? And we saw Anthony Hill play all year long as true freshman. But if you look at the room and what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to make the wide receiver room be beneficial to the weaknesses in Quinn's game. I mean, that's very apparent. You're trying to get quick, twitchy, fast guys that separate early before the 10-yard line. So, no, I don't think Matthew Golden will be the odd man out because he can play that role. He's a fast guy. He can play in the slide. He can play on the outside. He can work the middle. Right? He was a special teams guy. The only concern I have is he lost a lot of reps and a lot of targets to Samuel Brown and Manjack last year. So, and those guys I don't think are at the same caliber level of his skill. So I wonder if he kind of takes things off. But now he's at a bigger program. There's a lot of guys around him that he knows that if he doesn't, because I think him, Silas will eat, right? I think, and this is probably another hot take. You're gonna probably kill me for this one, Andy. I think Isaiah Bond's gonna get exposed, right? I think he fell into Texas's lap. They didn't even really want him, right? It was only because of a late portal window, and I don't know if he's gonna be that dude. He had some games, but I don't know if his game really is as much as what people think it is. More so that he played at Alabama, and you saw it in a lot of highlights. So I think Bond or DeAndre might be the odd man out in this wide receiver room.
It's funny because I think Isaiah Bond's the guy out. Silas Bolden, I think, is very quick. I think he has that speed. He's probably the fastest one out of the group. I like the way he twitches and stuff. Johnson Cook is probably the most physical one. I think he's just gonna be the guy that's just gonna manhandle and just be dominant after the catch for you as well. Matthew Golden, I think, like you mentioned, fits that role. You know, he could be that wide receiver 3 because I do think it's Cook and Bolden, and then you have Golden going in there at 3, and I think Isaiah Bond is the odd man out. I think he is out of the 4 right there. I think he's the worst receiver on the field. And that's sad because I was very high on him coming out, but he hasn't done it. And I don't think Texas is the offense that's going to. I don't think Ewers has got the necessary need to look at him as much. He should have stayed where he was, I think. You know, and it's just, I think Bond's there. I think Golden's safe.
I don't get it, right? He was a deep ball guy. Most of his plays at Alabama were on deep ball plays, broken plays, like Jalen Hyatt. And you go to a system where the QB doesn't really do well throwing the deep ball. That doesn't even make any sense to me, right? I understand it was a late thing. You wanted to go probably to the best landing spot, right? Because it's most talent. But I think my man might have played himself a little bit.
Yeah, agreed.
Bonus statement. Colorado will not win more than 5 games in 2024. SC, you're up first.
Man, so I had to look at the schedule here too. And, man, you hit us with some questions, man. You hit some bangers on here. It's like, got me thinking and stuff. Not just a yes, low. It was 5.5 or 5, right? I actually said they win 5. I said there's one that's gonna be a baby that can push them at 6, but I got them beating Nebraska. I got them beating Colorado State. I got them beating Baylor, UCF, Cincy. Actually, no, excuse me. I have 6 here because I have them beating Tech also, and then maybe Arizona. We'll see, but I don't think they beat K-State. I don't think they beat Utah. They can beat maybe Kansas, but I don't see it happening. And then they're losing to Oklahoma State, so that's 4. I have them just over at 6. I would take the over on that to say they do. They're coming in hot, man. They're coming in ready. They understand what happened last year, and they don't want to see that again. And then No Prime's talking them up every day. They're with him, saying this is our year, right? We were going to a new conference. We need to come in and beat the guys at this conference. They went in as soon as the transfer portal opened up. He got his quarterback protection. If I'm not mistaken, Shedeur Sanders was the most sacked quarterback last year. And you can't have that with a guy like him. He can escape the pressure, right? He is a quick mobile quarterback, but he is also someone that could be an excellent pocket quarterback too, because he has that accuracy if you give him the time. The thing was, they didn't give him the time last year. So the question mark will be the defense. Will the defense step up again? Will they be someone that's actually good? We'll see. But I do have them being over 5 this year.
I got them being over 5. Shit, I got them being at 5 before the break. I think they go 5-0 before the off. Then at North Dakota, I'm sorry, you're gonna put a true freshman against Shedeur Sanders in a shootout. If you want to make it a shootout, I'll put my house, my kids, my everything I got in the bank on a proven kid that can air it out all game against a kid who hasn't done a damn. So give me the Colorado at Nebraska, and they beat him last year. Colorado State, well, that's gonna be an ass whooping. After what happened last year with the Travis Hunter is going to pull his pants down and take a hot steamer in the end zone against Colorado State, and you can book that one. Baylor, listen, some of those games can be difficult, and that defense can be rough, but that's a dub, right? And UCF, John Rhimes Plumlee's not there. It's a whole new quarterback, a whole new offense going on in there. Give me Colorado. That's 5-0. Kansas State, I love Avery Johnson, but unless he's grooving, now we're looking at a kid with inexperience as well. There's a chance they could have 6 in the first 6, right? And then after that, I don't know. Then things get dicey, but they think they can beat Cincinnati. So I think they could be somewhere in the 7-win department. And I think there's a chance in the first 5 weeks, they're probably ranked in the top 25. And we're talking about Colorado all over again like we did last year. Will they shit their pants after week 6? Who knows? But I think they're going over 5.5.
Absolutely. Absolutely love it. Now, the next segment is 2024 NFL rookies to think about. SC, you're up first.
So, I've talked about this guy again, and shout out to 8, shout out Houston, my guy, defensive lineman Nelson Caesar, just a dog, man. This guy, he has the strength and the agility to swim around. He knows how to make a dip and get over the blockers. He knows how to push them around and not necessarily call for a penalty. This guy is just someone that's going to be a disruptor. He's going to make it difficult for quarterbacks to get the ball out because he's that quick game behind the line. He's going to make it difficult for runners to get between the tackles because he makes it difficult pushing the blockers the way he needs to do it. Nelson Caesar out of Houston, defensive lineman. I think that's someone you want to watch out. Your IDP leagues, probably getting him. He might get a couple sacks here and there.
All right. That's a guy I'm gonna try. I'm usually locked into these guys you throw out there, but I'm gonna have to check out Nelson Caesar. I'm gonna have to say I haven't seen him. I'm gonna watch him film after this one for sure.
All right, Nino, who's your NFL rookie to think about?
All right, so I posted a little bit about him on X. I'm going to go with Pitt wide receiver Bub Means. All right, this guy is a dude that just works, okay? Transferred over from Tennessee. He played DB. Dude hated it, right? Hated it the season he was there. Hated it, couldn't stand it. They started working him over, went to Pitt, fully transferred over. Like, now this dude is an absolute dog, all right? Excuse me. 30 receptions, 501 yards, 4 touchdowns. That was just between week 8 to week 13 when he started to turn it on. I watched this dude. Everybody loves Fennel Cypress III. I watched him straight burn this dude, right? Spin him around for a 29-yard reception. Ronaldo Green, everybody talks about, the second and Florida State. Smoke that dude consistently, play after play. Got footwork, great body control. He got top-end speed, right? 4.4 speed. I mean, DBs and safeties, man, if you ain't got that, you're looking at the backside of his numbers every play. He's quick off the line of scrimmage, right? He's got quick movement. Even the slightest little movement, like you were saying about Cowling, how he's like fluid, right? But he's got twitch, but it's not like crazy. The littlest movement and back, he can lose a guy with a head nod, and now he's already got separation. I just think because he went to Pitt, multiple QBs gone through there, we're really very good the past couple of years. He took off late in the season, but I think measures come out, pro day, hits his combine. People are going to start hearing about him a little more. Bub Means is a guy you need to watch out for.
Yeah, he's going to have one of those breakaway speeds. I mean, you watch his film, he's gone. You blink and he beats you. I mean, there's nothing about it. And he has the soft hands that he knows just to put it out and catch it, right? So he's not having to turn around or anything. He knows exactly where he needs to be, and he gets there in the time that he needs to be. I mean, a great receiver to watch out for. And so, come combine, he may rise the boards.
And those are some rookies to think about. Now, rookies' value, they fluctuate daily, and that leads us to our next segment, our stock exchange. Nino, you're up first with our stock exchange. Who is it?
All right. I'm going to go with, we talked about Houston, you talked about Nelson Caesar. I'm going to talk about the quarterback, all right? Donovan Smith. I liked what we saw around towards the latter half of the season. He had some, there were games where he did have some turnover problems. But you're bringing in head coach Willie Fritz. We see what Fritz did with Pratt, right? We've seen how he was able to, grow Pratt and get the production out of him over the past couple of seasons. I mentioned that Golden is gone, right? So that kind of eliminates one of the options. You don't have as many mouths to feed. You kind of just focus on Manjack and Brown, and those would be your guys. Considering those were his guys last year that kind of developed. Now, people are going to say, okay, Zion Chris comes in, Louisiana Raging Cages. I don't know if Zion Chris is the guy this year. I think Zion Chris might have been the guy for the future. Sit in that room behind Donovan Smith, learn a little bit. I think Chris is kind of raw, right? He does have attributes and traits similar to Donovan Smith. This is Donovan Smith's room. He's the commander of that offense. I think Fritz is going to just brought most of his staff over from Tulane, and we've seen what Tulane has done the last couple of seasons with that offense. They run the ball, they spread it out, they like to throw it deep, work the middle of the field. Like they're going to spread. This kid's going to have a career year. I think Donovan Smith's going to have a year where they're like, now he's getting some draft considerations. Now he's put that stuff in the past where he was really had turnover issues, really kind of like concerned with it. Is he really going to be able to come through and produce? I think what we've seen the last 7 games of last season, what we're going to see this season, you're about to hear about Donovan Smith really soon, and he's going to be a name that you're going to hear popping.
I think he had a better he did better as he progressed on getting the ball out quicker.
Yes.
He's more rapid with it. He's not holding it as long, and that makes a huge difference. And it could grow the confidence when you're not necessarily getting hit because you know how to get the ball out a little bit more, right? So, I'm excited to see him. Again, shout out Houston. I think they're in for a good thing, and he has Samuel Brown coming back. So, I think that's an excellent combo there.
Manjak's no joke, bro. Don't sleep on Manjak. Me and Andy's had conversations already about Manjak. That kid knows way to be. He's got great hands. And the thing with Donovan Smith that I like, this year it seemed he was more patient with runs. Right? As soon as the pocket broke down, he wasn't just taking off to take off and run. He would kind of roll out, look to pass first, look for a lane, look where it was best for him to go, and then take off. And he did 6 touchdowns, over 400 yards. If they can button up that line, you give them a little more protection. I think this is going to be the season.
SC, who's your stock exchange guy?
Man, this is a quarterback as well. Someone that he came out hot, kind of that steam kind of went away, but now he's looking hot again. That's gonna be Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. A couple seasons ago, he had just below 3,000 yards. This past season had over 3,300. He's getting better as we see it. That fine line, right? Just aging with that time. And I think this is a year he doesn't have Quinshawn anymore, right? So who could be the running back there? Who could be the guy? But I think really it matters on him. He doesn't have that safety net right behind him anymore. So now there's a big thing that he has to do. He has to step up, and I'm excited to see it because I really think if he has another year like he did last year, we could see him be a quarterback that is talked about in the first round. He's someone that is improving with his accuracy. He's someone that's improving with his ability to escape. His awareness, his IQ of the game is just becoming more and more pure. That it's looking great, and I'm excited to see that he actually is what we thought when he was coming out of high school originally.
This kid wakes up every single morning, and it's Christmas. Every single morning, and Lane Kiffin is putting a nice shiny gift underneath there with a bow for him. Oh, we're going to get you some more weapons. Okay, we'll go get you Juice Wells, right? Oh, but I'm also going to return Zachariah Franklin, who everybody forgot about because last year he was not healthy. He was able to come back. He got the extra. So he's back, right? Oh, we got Prescorn. He's great. I'm going to go get a sleeper from Virginia Tech and Dwaycon Wright as a tight end, as another big body guy that can block. Oh, Quinton Junkins is gone. I'm sorry. We don't have that guy. We don't have that banger. Bentley the fourth. He's not really that workhorse. That's all right. You know what? We're going to promote Kendrick Reese-Cano, and I'm going to go get Logan Diggs in the portal, a receiving back, and we're just going to give you every receiving option you need, Jackson Dock, to run the show for the Ole Miss Rebels. Bro, they set this kid up to have the best season of his life, to be able to put all of that USC bullshit behind him, right, and probably be in the top 3 conversation of quarterbacks. If everything pans out right, it's Jackson Dock. I am with you 100%, SC. Give me all the stock in Jackson Dock. We saw him get better, to take steps in his progression. Mental errors, right? Not try to force balls in tight windows, right? We also seen him he did much better with looking off defenders when he was trying to throw balls into tight windows, right? We've seen him do better with the reads. Everything that we wanted to see Dart do last year, he did. And he had more strategic, smarter runs. Get down, get what you can get down, get on to the next play. If people are sleeping on Jackson Dock, then they're going to be sleeping all year.
I think I dropped him in one of my Devy leagues, but I mean, this was, before the season started, I was, doing Devy drafts like, oh, I'm going to drop this guy, but regret it now because I definitely think that acceleration is there. Reese Gano is definitely another guy,
yes,
people are sleeping on, and they might be because they got Diggs, but that's going to be Man, as soon as Quinston left, I'm like, all right, who has Riscano in my leagues? I gotta go get him. I think that's someone people are gonna sleep on heavily. This whole offense is gonna be nasty. I mean, I think again, if the pieces fall in line, like you said, it's gonna be great, and it looks like they are. Man, Jackson Dart is becoming that guy.
Yo, there's a guy in the wide receiver room. I know Andy's got in the back as well. He's probably waiting to say it because I know Andy. He's already Aiden Williams, bro. Aiden Williams got no time last year, right? Everybody's talking about Hakeem Williams in Florida State. Screw that, bro. Aiden Williams is that dude. They always find a dude, a muscular, physical dude who can play anywhere on the field. That's him. If he gets a chance to be and get some reps in this offense this year, ooh, boy, watch out.
Game 1, he had 9 targets. The rest of the season, he didn't do jack, and I was hurt.
Saying, bro. He's a dude. He's definitely a dog. So, and he's like probably 4th or 5th on the depth chart. But we'll see where they put him in the spring. That's where I'm interested to see where they place him.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun team this year. Now, guys, that was an excellent episode. SC, where can people find your work?
So you can find a lot of my rookie stuff going on right now at the Fantasy Football Universe. We got some of that. We got a lot of mocks now. We're doing rookie mocks, IDP mocks, startup mocks. All that stuff is coming out from there. You can also find me on Future Phenoms with y'all. And then I have a new segment called Devi Dash coming out every Friday on X, and then you have it on Wednesday on YouTube. But really, Andy was on this one. We were talking RB1 of the 2025 class. Just going through that, just quick insight on these guys, really quick Devi Dash kind of style. Some Devi players you need to watch out for. And then also we're getting closer, man. March 5th. It's about 2 weeks away, just a little less. 3-5. Stay tuned. CFB Nation.
And then Nino, what are you currently working on? Where can people find you?
Over here, League Winners, Future Phenoms. I'll be dropping this weekend my article on why I believe. Shout out Volume Picks, because I feel like sometimes great minds think like he just dropped this article about UNLV Ricky White, and I was like, yo, I just got an article coming out, a reason why I think Jaden Thomas, the Jet, is a guy that people don't really know about. And I think scouts didn't know about, and he's making a statement on his own. He's coming in with a chip on his shoulder, and I think you're going to understand why he's going to be kicking the door in college football as running back this year. I'll be dropping that article this weekend. CFB, Nation, you can check me over there. I got 2 or 3 podcasts I'm going on, a couple guests coming on, and I also do Dynasty Degens. But now it's switched over for me. I'll be taking a new role over there. I'll be doing Debbie Degens. All right. So I'll be doing a little more in this college side, a little deeper into it. We'll talk about value and how you would set up your team and what you're looking for different aspects of it. So that's where I'll be now with my boy, Nerd Boy Mike. So you can catch me on those 3 locations.
Very nice. And you can follow these guys on X. You can follow SC at the PPR show. Follow Nino at _ Nino Brown __. We'll be back next week. But before we go, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, give us a rate and review. And we'll see you next time on Future Phenoms.